ahogaré llanto, a ver si llorando te puedo olvidar. Ahora comprendo que es imposible, porque ya ni muerta te dejo de amar. Al pie de la tumba.
I've worked here at the Laredo Cemetery. Long time. It don't bother me to work here. I mean, I've never seen ghosts or anything like that. But I mean, sometimes when I'm working and the wind starts to blow, I swear, I hear voices.
Look at her. See with what care she cleans my headstone? She only uses dish soap. Not Benami, which can scratch the marble. Gently she wipes it clean. Did any man have such a devoted wife? Oh, she loves me still. But would she take such loving care if she knew that every Wednesday when I said I was working late on the books, I was with Imelda Flores? Or on Sundays, when I said I was visiting my mother's grave, I was in Maria Beltran's bed. Or that my once-a-month trip to San Antonio was a visit to Thelma Montes. See how carefully she wipes the dirt from my name, pulls all the weeds that have begun to grow around my grave. What love! What care! And all because she doesn't know.
I had 2 daughters, one who loved me and one who didn't. The one who loved me cried when I died. The one who didn't. The one who loved me visits my grave and brings me flowers. The one who doesn't. I know a mother should love her children equally, but I didn't. I could only love the daughter who didn't and never loved the daughter that did.
My mother never loved me. I don't know why. Maybe there's no reason. Just a preference. Like the fondness for the color blue instead of green. I loved my mother. But she loved my sister. My sister was adored and worshipped. My sister had my mother's love. But she didn't want it. And she never returned it. I had children. I loved them differently but equally. Why couldn't my mother do the same for me?
Before I went off to war, I sent my mother a picture from training camp. It was a picture of me standing outside my pup tent, young, proud, and stupid. I was smiling and happy, pretending to be a soldier. I didn't pretend long. We got shipped overseas. It took 2 weeks on a ship to get there. First time I'd seen an ocean. First time I was seasick. First time I was truly scared. Weeks later, I'm in a forest in France, laying low in a foxhole. The shelling had quieted down, finally. My buddy Marco was in the front of the foxhole, going through the ammo, making sure we had enough. Willie and Pancho were taking turns on a cigarette because we were rationing the smokes. What was I doing? Just trying not to be afraid. Because I knew I'd reach my end. Don't know how I knew, but I did. Took out my pack of cigs. 2 cigs left. Gave them to Willie. Take them. I don't need them. Willie took them. Didn't say a word. Maybe he knew too. About a minute later, The shell hit smack in the middle of our hole. Marco lasted a day. Willie and Pancho were wounded, but they lived to fight another day. I came home in a box, with a flag draped over the top. My mother was broken into 1,000,000 pieces. She kept seeing me like I was in that last picture I sent, standing in front of my pub tent, smiling, happy, alive. I wish I'd never sent that picture. I wish I'd never taken that picture.
I was a maid, as was my mother and my mother's mother. I cleaned their houses, cooked their dinners, ironed their clothing, cleaned their toilets, polished the furniture, answered the doors, raised their children. I heard their arguments, and I kept their secrets. To be a maid in this town was to accept that you would always be seen as less than by those who paid your salary. So I saved my money and bought this plot in the wealthiest part of the cemetery. And now I'm buried amongst them. No longer less than.
I was the first person in my family to graduate high school, first to go to college, graduated with honors. So many people relying on me, expecting me to carry them forward, out of poverty, out of the colonia, and I was doing it. I was pushing myself harder than I ever thought was possible. Working, always working. Until the rainy night I fell asleep at the wheel. And I ended up here. My family is left behind. Still in the colonia. But can I tell you a secret? I like being here. There's no rushing around. No pressure. No working. All is quiet now. All rushes through me and around me. I lie here perfectly still. In peace.
Al pie de la tumba, mirando hacia el cielo, quisiera escuchar tu voz, quisiera abrazarte, quisiera besarte, pero es imposible, tú ya estás con Dios.